When you were younger, did you ever wonder what it'd be like to have a Pokemon of your very own? To travel far and wide and become the very best like no one ever was? Well, this is Victoria.
And this is Tiffany,
the host of your new favorite channel, Team Rocket Science. And we're here to ruin your childhood dreams. There are a lot of things in the Pokemon world that defy the laws of physics and make absolutely no sense at all when considered using real-world logic. In fact, there are so many things wrong with the physics of the franchise that you could probably create a YouTube channel dedicated to discussing it all.
So that's exactly what we're doing. Just in case you've been living under a rock, Pokemon are sort of basically fictional animals that possess unique abilities and powers. Essentially, you have these people known as Pokemon trainers who wander around trying to catch these creatures for their own nefarious purposes, forcing them to beat each other within an inch of death. But we're not arts majors, so we don't care about the ethics of it. We're interested in the physics. To enslave these magnificent creatures, the trainers use tiny devices known as Pokeballs, which have the ability to hold any Pokemon inside of them, allowing the trainer to summon them at will. This poses several problems, the most notable of which being, how the actual hell does this work?
Well, according to the law of conservation of mass in an isolated system can be neither created or destroyed. This means that when a Pokemon is captured, the Pokemon and all of its associated mass is somehow completely stored within the Pokeball. One possible solution to this conundrum would be to have the Pokemon stored within the Pokeball as raw energy. Anything that has mass has an equivalent amount of energy, these quantities being related to one another by the equation E=mc². Let's take Pikachu as an example. The average Pikachu weighs around 6 kilograms, meaning its energy equivalent is approximately 10 trillion joules. This is twice the energy of the largest nuclear bomb ever detonated.
Whoa, that's obviously a huge problem. You can't store that much energy in a tiny little metal ball. It would just explode. Instead, I think the Pokeball shrinks the Pokemon down small enough to fit inside the ball. The Pokeball would decrease the Bohr radius of the Pokemon's atoms, allowing the atoms to reduce the space between them and making the Pokemon miniature. This actually makes a lot more sense, since scientists are currently working on experiments to accomplish this using super colliders to change electrons into muons. No, not those Mews. Muons are particles similar to electrons, but with greater mass.
Hold up. If every single electron were replaced with muons, the overall mass of the Pokemon would increase dramatically. The Pokemon would become so dense that it would fall through the earth. How is it any better than Pokemon trainers, and small children for that matter, walking around with extremely powerful and tiny nuclear bombs?
I guess that's just a matter of opinion.
Good one. But while we're on the topic of conservation of mass, let's talk about evolution. Like, what's up with that?
Evolution is when a Pokemon changes into a different, more powerful version. Often these forms are larger than their previous form, and the transformation occurs within only a few seconds.
So if it happens that quickly, then there's no way the Pokemon has time to eat and store up enough energy to elicit this transformation. But according to the law of conservation of mass, the extra matter has to come from somewhere.
Well, couldn't they just absorb it from their surroundings, using the elements of matter in their vicinity as fuel for their metamorphosis?
What you're basically explaining is a mini black hole. There are so many ways that could go wrong. According to Einstein's theory, the flow of time is what sucks objects into the center of a black hole. So in order to reverse or stop it, we'd have to be able to stop time, which isn't exactly an easy thing to do. What's to stop the Pokemon from taking the entire world with it? Like, man, what's with these Pokemon destroying the world every time they try to do anything?
Speaking of destruction, how are your childhood dreams doing? If we haven't managed to crush them yet, then make sure to watch next week's video where we'll be talking about why it is that you're more likely to flatten your precious Pidgey than you are to fly majestically through the skies on its back.
Make sure to subscribe and like this video. This is Victoria.
And this is Tiffany.
Blasting off for now. See you again next week.